So yeah, comparing myself to others. I think like since the day of like social media has blown up and we get to see into other people's lives more, especially like the last 13, 15 years. I think like coming from me personally, I've struggled with comparing myself to others, but to be honest with you, I don't think I've always felt good about myself all my life, most of it anyway. Like I've always felt like an outsider, I've always felt different. But that's even before I discovered that I had Aspergers. That I just felt different, I felt weird, I felt there was just something in my head that I had to just compare myself to other people all the fucking time. Whether that's looks, lifestyle, or just multiple shit. But I think as someone that has got a diagnosis of Asperger's and autism, and from being a kid, I didn't really understand it. I didn't really understand Asperger's. I just compared myself to my peers. Like when I was at high school, I was around other people with like autism and stuff. And I found I just didn't really have a lot in common with most of them. I think there's probably one that I might have had a bit in common with, but really, ultimately, I don't think I really had anything in common with nearly any of them, really, or just different. So I just compared myself with them. Like I just thought, oh, I was just one of them because they were like, I'd say more like childlike in behaviour than like me who wanted to like fit in. I just got it in my head that, oh, I just want to be like them, I want to fit in, and it just didn't work out that way. But yeah, that's just one part of it. But I don't. It's not just with like Asperger's, like it's just in general. But I do think Asperger's is like puts extra weight, extra pressure into trying to fit in, trying to be like everyone else, and coming up with excuses of why am I not like everyone else? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Like why can't I do this to a certain level? And as of getting older, that's when it became more severe because that's the time where everyone's growing up, getting a job, moving out, getting the first house, getting a girlfriend, getting married, having kids. People who are around my age are doing that at the minute. Some of them are, but and also people like comparing myself to people who I grew up with, like my sister. Like we grew up in the same house, we had the same upbringing, but I'd say she's because she doesn't have an official diagnosis of anything, but I kind of think to myself, she does act a bit autistic in ways, with well, it's like she's a very clever, functional person, more functional than me, but she probably does more autistic things like collecting things, like she's into collecting weird shit, which I don't do, and or if you tell her a joke or something, she just doesn't get that. So I feel like I probably understand stuff, jokes and sarcasm probably better than her personally anyway. Well, she just doesn't get that. She doesn't seem to anyway, or she just doesn't share the same sense of humour as me. Because as a male, I probably have a dark, sick, twisted sense of humour where I like bad jokes. I like brutal jokes. But yeah. But when it's comparing to people like my sister, who's grown up in the same household as me, it's like she's never really had problems in making friends, getting invited to parties, social events, social life, getting a job, moving out for uni because she moved out for uni to another city. But I feel like the reason she did that is because of the support of her friends' parents, because I don't think my parents would have done it, especially my dad. Like, he wouldn't have drove down to, don't know, fucking Preston for interviews and all that shit. Like, he'd like, fuck off, can't be arsed. What the fuck do you want me to do about it? And that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't move to another city, like, don't know, move into Liverpool or fucking a more expensive option like London, fuck knows, or I don't know, somewhere near my grandma's area, I don't know. But like, I never had the option because I just don't think I really had a supportive family. Because my mum gave, maybe if my mum still drove and worked, she probably would have done it. But my dad, he was just probably just got told to fuck off and stuff. And I think it takes having a supportive family to succeed, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. All that shit. That's just, I keep quoting that because it's true. But yeah, it's just comparing myself to other people, like, especially when social media's blown up, like the 2010s with Facebook, we get to see pictures of people we've been to school with, people I'm not even in fucking contact with for whatever fucking reason. And they just don't want anything to do with me. And that's got me questioning. It's got me quite a bit bitter and angry about it. Personally, I kind of think, I might be wrong with this, but I'm kind of theorising that some of the people I've been to school with, especially like primary school, with the area I live in, when it comes to boys especially, some of them are probably quite fucking, probably not the nicest of people, probably quite fucking nasty. And just really just don't give a fuck because that's just the culture around here. It's normal to some people. I think there's a huge epidemic of socio, like, you know, I think sociopaths that just don't give a fuck. In the last since like the last 20 years and stuff, probably like more the 2010s, my fucking generation. Can think of one person that probably has a career in drug dealing and all that shit. Just fuck, where his fashion sense is dressing like Eminem from the early 2000s. But and it's those like sort of families where I've noticed, like, especially like one of my mates, probably one of the few people I'm still in contact with who I've been to school with, probably comes from a nice middle class, comfortable family where they get to go to Disney World in Florida nearly every summer. And that's a shitload of fucking money. Like, it's not fucking Disneyland Paris where it's a bit cheaper, and even that's fucking expensive. But going to fucking Florida every year and his fucking parents pay for the whole fucking thing. That would never fucking happen with my fucking dad. Because he was the only one that had one. I just got a straight fuck off from him. So I'm just thinking people that just have supportive parents to succeed. You just need supportive people around you, positive people around you. And I just don't think I really had that. Um, just people growing up and stuff like I've struggled to get into work, but I just think my mental health just deteriorated after uni. And a lot of people, me included, are just blaming that on Aspergers because that's just an easy thing to blame it on. It could very much could be, or it partly could be. But also, I think I just don't think I was supported enough into it. Like when I was a kid, I've talked about this before. Like I just felt life was just very different back then, where I had a social life. It was easier to have a social life. It was easier to be involved. There was more of a community. It's more of a community feel from where I live. And this was like before the age of social media, because I probably believe social media has ruined it, quite possibly. Something's off because I used to go to a cricket club and they were just some of my happiest days of my life, especially like being in my hometown and all that, where I was involved with something, I was around people, like I could socialise. That's proven that I can socialise. I'm alright with mixing with people, but something's just happened, like the way adults are. Because with Asperger's, that's where you can't socialise, develop social skills to the level of a normal person. But it's also you just don't develop like everyday life skills to a normal person, like being functional in this world, like working, all that shit. Like it's not like you can't do shit, but you just don't develop it as well. Where you're a bit clumsy with that. And to its core, it's the socialising side of stuff. But you're supposed to develop other skills stronger, like you're supposed to have a niche interest. It's like Sheldon Cooper's shit at socialising, but he's good at physics. But really, that's just Asperger's on acid. I just don't think that's a realistic take on Asperger's, to be honest with you. But yeah, when it comes to the Asperger's, I think that's just an easy thing to blame it on where I fail to develop cliques. I fail to develop a social group and maintain friends, get girlfriends, all that shit. Looking after myself, like I'm not exactly in the best shape. I'm quite overweight. I'm probably not terribly fucking morbidly obese, but I'm kind of overweight. I've been overweight most of my life. But that could be a genetic thing because my sister's overweight and my dad's overweight. So that could just be a genetic thing, to be honest with you. But it's like I've picked up my parents' shitty genes or the worst of them. Because really, my mum just struggles with like asthma and mental health issues, and I quite kind of think she's probably autistic. Because you can just tell she's very quiet, she's very meek, she's very soft, she's very shy. It takes a lot of energy for her to do things, to function to a level of a normal person, but she's not got an official diagnosis. And I just think I come from a family where Asperger's is just riddled. My family's just riddled with Asperger's. And quite possibly other stuff like ADHD, because I've heard you can have both. There's people with dual diagnosis of Asperger's and ADHD, and I think I might have certain symptoms of ADHD personally, and especially my fucking dad. Um, yeah, just why can't I do things to the level of a normal person? I've always beaten myself up about it, and maybe I'm theorising the answers to that, but the thing is, the heartbreaking truth, there's no definitive answer, because I'm no psychologist, I'm no fucking, I don't have a fucking clue, and the people around me don't have a fucking clue. And yeah, where else to go with this video? I believe we live in a rigged system where it doesn't really help us to have a happy life, having a fulfilling life. Because I'm not fulfilled in this life, I just think it's shit. I'm quite fucking shocked how systematic this country is. Because I just think it's stuff you're not even taught at school. So you have to do this or that to get this or that. Like another ambition of mine, I'd like to, like I've talked about this in other videos, like I'd like to spend some time outside of this country, like go to New Zealand or Australia. And I think my cousin's moving to Australia soon. I think not, probably not for like a long time. I think he's only going for 6 months, but I just don't really get a clear answer from my dad because he's got the attention span of my dog. But yeah, just like I'd like to. I think my first choice is New Zealand. Just appeals to me. It just seems like a nice chilled out area. Like so at the minute, I think if I'm gonna move to another country, I'd like to move to New Zealand. And I might even think I'd like to do it as a permanent move, but I don't know how realistic that would be. Like I don't fucking know. Don't know the ins and outs of it. For like as a Western country, we just seem to get life a lot better than what we do over here. Like just get it right, they get it better. They're probably not perfect. They probably have the problems, but they probably just get it better. And when someone like manages to move to another country for whatever reason, even if it's a temporary thing, I'm just like, how the fuck did they do that? Because I just don't know the ins and outs of that. When it comes to visas and all that, I think as a Commonwealth country, I don't might not be as hard as I thought it was. But if there's a time where I end up becoming homeless for whatever reason, I might just go there and just ride it out until the wheels fall off. If there's a time where I've got fuck all to lose and I've got some sort of money on me, I'll just fucking go there. And yeah. But yeah, I'm just someone that's not really had a healthy social circle, especially in my adult years. People have just disappeared for whatever fucking reason. I don't know if it is my Aspergers or it's just how life has turned out, and I've always been confused by that. So like, that's probably part of the Aspergers where you're just confused with the world. You're confused to why people do things the way they do. Why are people the way they are? Why is the world the way it is? Stuff I might not recognise. Just, just think this world's too confusing, to be honest with you. Especially as an adult, this world's just become too confusing. Don't understand it. I think I don't really know what else to say in this video, so yeah, catch you in another video. Goodbye.